If you are an iPhone 10 buyer or just curious about the iPhone 10, here are 10 tips to help you get started with the iPhone 10. We're going to start off with gestures. Now, most of the actions on the iPhone 10 are carried out by gestures, and if you're coming from any previous generation of the iPhone, you're pretty used to the home button for many of these tasks. So to get started with gestures, if you want to come back to the home screen from any running application or anywhere in the phone, all you need to do is swipe up from the bottom edge of the display and then release your finger. You can do this in portrait or landscape mode, and you will have to use the natural bottom edge whether you're holding the phone in portrait or landscape. To access the multitasking now, you will need to repeat the same action, but in this scenario, you need to keep your finger on the screen, allowing you to access the multitasking panel. The control center is also in a different location now, so swiping down from the top right will allow you to access the control center. Swiping down from anywhere else in the screen will allow you to access the notification shade, and then swiping left from there will allow you to get to the dashboard. While on the home screen, swiping down anywhere on the home screen will allow you to access the search panel, which will search for things across your phone and on the internet. Next up, Face ID. It is recommended that you set up your Face ID at the time of setting up the phone. In doing so, you will be able to access most of the Face ID functions directly. Now, Face ID replaces Touch ID throughout iOS, so any apps that use Touch ID, including banking and apps like Instagram that can access your passwords, they will now seamlessly use Face ID to access your information. You do not need to change anything for this. To register your face for Face ID, simply go into Settings, into Face ID and Passcode. You will need to then enter your passcode, and then you can set up your Face ID. If you've already registered your face and it's not working properly, you can reset Face ID and then restart the process. Next up, one of the most crucial features of the iPhone is the battery percentage. Now, just like me, if you're used to looking at the battery percentage on the top right, that feature is now gone. Even if you jump into the settings and click on battery, it will not show you the option to enable battery percentage. One easy way to look at the battery percentage is to swipe down into the control center from the top right, and now you will be able to see your network information and your battery percentage. Animojis are really fun and a lot of people like using them. But here's one thing about Animojis that not a lot of people know. Animojis can be saved as videos and then shared across platforms. Once you've sent an Animoji, all you need to do is tap on it and then hit save, and it'll save it to your phone's library. From here, you are free to share it with any app that allows you to share a video. Portrait lighting shots. The iPhone 10 allows portrait lighting shots on the front as well as the rear camera. You can enable this by hitting the portrait mode in the camera application and then choosing either the front or the rear camera. Once you've clicked a picture, however, you can always go into the edit feature and then change the kind of portrait lighting effect you have on it. So you don't have to be restricted with a monochrome shot. You can always go into the settings and change it later on. 4K 60 FPS video. A lot of iPhone 10s will not have 4K 60 frames per second enabled by default. To enable this, go into the settings app, then into the camera panel, then into formats. Change the format from most compatible to high efficiency. Now you will see the 4K 60 FPS option if it was not previously available. This will also enable the full HD video recording format at super slow-mo 240 frames per second. If you are used to swiping up to quit your applications, on the iPhone 10 it is a little different. Once you access the multitasking panel, you will need to hold down on a card to enable the end app icon. Once you have that, you can continue to swipe up to end the app or hit one of the close icons that appear on the top left in the red color. Now, if you've used an iPhone before, the easiest way to take a screenshot was to press the home button and the power button together. On the iPhone 10, because there is no home button, to take a screenshot, you will now need to press the volume up button and the power button. Everything else more or less works the same. Now, because the iPhone has a 5.8-inch display, which is larger than a standard 16:9 format, most of your videos will appear with a letterbox. But fret not, most applications will allow you to increase the size of the video to stretch all the way across the screen. You can do so by simply pinching in to the video to cover the full screen. Since the home button no longer exists, to call out Siri, you need to long press on the power button. But if you're looking to turn the phone off or reboot it, To do that, you'll need to press the power and the volume down button together to access the shutdown menu. This will also allow you to send an emergency SOS or completely power off the phone. Here's a bonus tip. If you want to access the camera or the flashlight quickly, you can do so by swiping down from the notification shade. Simply 3D press down on any of the buttons to activate either the flashlight or the camera. There you go, guys. If you're planning on getting a new iPhone 10 or are just planning on moving up from a pre-existing iPhone, these are some of the tips that you'll need to get started with your new iPhone 10. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, share it with a friend who owns an iPhone 10, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to iGyan. This has been Bharat Nagpal. I will see you guys in the next one.